Hi, I'm Christian San Jose. I'm the CEO and founder of UX Plus University. And today I'm going to talk about how we built a UX school from scratch without hiring an engineer. So today I'll be talking about the state of UX learning in Southeast Asia, our no-code stack, and the outcomes that no-code allowed for us. So again, I'm Christian San Jose. I'm a designer and now an educator. I'm the CEO and founder of UX Plus University. Most people know me for the things I've done in the past, which include Kobe Bryant's official website, Dwayne Wade's official website, Usain Bolt's official website as well, and also notably, Usher's official wardrobe website. Usher wanted a website that only he can log into so that he can pick clothes that he already owns from his wardrobe. He owns all of this. He sends it to a cart, and that cart is sent to a stylist, and that stylist sends it to wherever Usher is around the world. So it's a pretty weird problem. It's an Usher problem, definitely. So I was in charge of that. More recently, I've helped First Circle, which is a fintech company based in Asia, where they help small businesses get better access to finance. I've also helped out Copy.AI as the first hire, specifically the UX hire. So you can check those out in case you're interested. But now I'm again, CEO and founder of UX Plus, which is both a conference and a learning platform. So it started as an annual event in 2019. It was the largest UX event in Asia at that time, and it still is. 3 events since, and we have 3,000 attendees every year, which is great. We've invited awesome speakers from Julie Zhu, from Jake Knapp, Wendy Johansson, Eric Snowden from Adobe, and many, many, many more. And it's been great to really do this for the UX community. It's one of my passions. That's why I got into it. In December 2020, we turned UX Plus into a live, part-time learning platform. So actually, this talk is going to be the story of how we built that up using no code. So I've always wanted to build a startup, but as with many founders, or maybe even designers, I had no idea what problem to solve. Was it commuting? Was it finance? Was it e-commerce? I like to travel a lot. Maybe it was travel. Was it freelancing? I freelanced for a while, so maybe that was it. But I ended up with no idea to solve. It was always hard. I always was faced with the problem of not knowing how to actually build it. I knew how to design it, but I always was stuck at the part where I had to find a co-founder. During this time, I was in between jobs, and I taught and mentored UX designers because I needed money. So for that time, I stuck with what I knew. And it was an amazing experience of just teaching others how to become UX designers. So I've done that in the past with mostly workshops, mostly 5-hour workshops or 3-day workshops. But really, people come into events like that to actually be designers, to actually be get into a UX career. And I felt like I was selling them short. So I thought to myself, why not combine the idea, like my passion for finally starting something of my own, finally starting a startup, and also the idea of teaching others, because why not? At this point, I've tried most ideas out and always got stuck. Why not try something that I already knew how to solve, which is teaching career transitioners, students, how to become UX professionals. So as I was thinking about this idea, it made sense at first to start building something like this, where it's mostly a pre-recorded course. People can pay for it for $150 or maybe $90 or maybe something super cheap, something very easy to pick up, watch, and then also learn from and hope for the best, like cross their fingers and hope for the best from there. And as I was building this Skillshare of UX, I was super excited. I was super bought into my own idea. I went all the way into designing everything. I've written most of the script for the course itself. Only thing that was missing was basically building it out in Webflow and also recording some of the videos. During this time, I also encountered Y Combinator. I've been a fan for a while. It's partly a part of the reason why I wanted to be startup founder. I wanted to do something that's scalable, do something that could be big. So finally, I had an idea that could fit Y Combinator, but then I realized that my initial idea sucked. So I realized that by filling in their application form. So when you apply to any accelerator or when you try to sell a piece of your startup to an investor, your problem must be big enough, it must be immense, it must be really painful, quote unquote, for the people that are experiencing it. Your solution must be compelling. It must be somehow new or a new version of something that's been done before. And your team must be the right team to solve it. It was a good idea from the start. Like, I was super excited by it. While I was filling out the application, the idea changed because they really asked good questions during the application process, which some of which includes how many customers do you have? I didn't have any. Why are you the team to do this? Like, what's something new that that only you realized? So things that were super challenging, and I couldn't just answer with, "Oh, it's a pre-recorded course. It's $200 or $150. It's going to be the most amazing UX course out there." I didn't even sell the idea to myself as I was filling out the form. I tried to find problems out there as I was writing down my answers. And I said to myself, basically, this isn't it. There's more out there that I could pursue. So through my research, I figured that, hey, I already knew this. I was once a graphic designer that transitioned from graphic design to UX many, many years ago, maybe 15 years ago, at this conference. It wasn't enough to look into my own experience. So I tried looking at salaries of UX designers out there. And through my research, I found that even though if you search for the UX designer salary on the internet, even though they say possibly it's $50,000 starting salary or it's $80,000, in Southeast Asia, where I've been living for most of my life, I know I've hired designers that I've paid anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000. Not that it's underpaying them; it's just literally the state of the market. It's the salary that most UX designers and people in tech actually get. So knowing that problem, what's being marketed or what's being told online didn't really align with the realities of the market, the realities of the industry. So throughout that research, I learned that within Southeast Asia, it doesn't even go up beyond $17,000. And then if you look into the UX education platforms out there or UX boot camps out there, it costs anywhere from 30,000 all the way to 150,000 depending on where you look. So if you think about that, it's gonna take actually 2 years at least for a UX designer, for a junior UX designer to pay off their education, which is unsustainable. So I was thinking to myself, how do UX designers actually get into a career? Possibly they go through freelance work. Possibly they get hired because they didn't know what was the job description, or they're hired because they have graphic design skills, but the company hiring them isn't really the best fit that knows what really the value of UX is. So as I was doing this research, it became clearer and clearer what I should do. I shouldn't just teach people UX. I should help them get into a career and also get into a company that knows the value of what they're trying to do. So as I was writing this up, it resonated with people. the cost of UX education, the salary of UX designers, and the need for a community, not just a pre-recorded course, but a community that they can lean on to make this all work, make this transition into a new career work. So to learn UX, again, it's not about the lectures. It's not just about the lectures. It's about community. It's about mentorship. It's learning from others. It's applying those learnings. It's failing and then learning from it. It's having access to career opportunities and also lowering the boundaries of a career in UX. It's making education more accessible. So I got to work. But then how could I build a startup without an engineer? I've faced this before. I knew this problem pretty much my whole founder life. Well, I took inspiration from a cohort-based course I was in where they used no code to build their no code course and program. They built directories using no code, using Webflow, using MemberStack, which really inspired me because I already was using no code partly just to do official websites for clients or company websites or brochures during my freelance time. And I already knew some no code things as well. When I was doing my event for UX Plus conference, I used anything from Zapier to Webflow to Airtable to generate certificate generators, just like what you see right now. So I was a bit familiar with it. I went into a no code cohort with On Deck. I learned from how they did it, and also I tried to learn. I tried to learn more on my own. So maybe no code was the way. Maybe no code was how I could finally start this. So I rolled up my sleeves and got to work. First, I mapped out the steps of building this online school. I wanted something that people could believe in, investors could believe in, and also would be super convenient for students, and we could also manage without paying so much money for off-the-shelf learning platforms out there. So yeah, like I just mapped it out. Here are the steps of building an online school. And throughout this process, I also mapped out how I could possibly tackle each problem along the way, each step in that process, from registration, from participating in a class, from like anything from getting a job, for applying for a job. I tried to map it all out, and here's what I got. So at the core of our no-code stack are Webflow, Zapier, and Airtable. For most of our sites, actually Webflow, which is pretty awesome. But I'll go through right now each app that we used. So for our written application, we use Typeform, embedded on a Webflow site, which was pretty simple. We've integrated that into Airtable through Zapier, which is super straightforward. For our video application, we actually used Video Ask, which is super awesome. So in Video Ask, we could eliminate the need for students taking time. Like if we have 100 applicants, we could essentially go through all of them, all of their video applications just with Video Ask. We could do it asynchronously, and we could split the work across many people as well. So that was super awesome for us to discover. For our design challenge, again, pretty simple. That's Typeform and Webflow embedded on a private site that we send the password to for students. So super simple. Create an assessment of an existing website, and that's pretty much it. And then all flows down to Airtable, as mentioned earlier. We get all of their answers there. We can split the work, which is super efficient. For managing a class, we used MemberStack for our registration. So once a student actually gets into the program, once they're ready to pay, they have to register, they have to send in more information, information that we possibly didn't get through our application process. So we used MemberStack, again, with Webflow to build out this registration platform where we can also know more about our students. What are their goals for this program? What are they excited about? What are they looking forward to? So after this part, it's all about the lectures and discussions with students. And I was super excited to build this out because I discovered Circle.so, which is a great somehow no code discussion board, which we used. So we built out the whole discussion board with general discussions, with guest speakers. This is where they can book mentorship calls as well. They can do their class sessions. They can find their schedule. They can apply for jobs. Pretty much, we've taken over this platform and spin it for something that's usable for our students. So from there, again, our students have to book one-on-one mentorship sessions with their assigned mentors, and that's super simple as well. We use Calendly, where they can book whether it's their instructor or it's their mentor. We had to produce a wiki as well, something that students can go back to every now and then. If they need anything from us, if they need resources from us, that's where we post it. If we use a discussion board for that, it might be hard to find certain links or certain resources. So we use Super SO to turn a Notion site into an actual website that our students can maximize for their learning. So we put our clonable templates there, we put our facts there, certain things like contact forms we've embedded in this website as well. After they've graduated, of course, they need to get a job. So we've maximized certain SaaS platforms, certain no-code platforms as well, including Hunter, which is pretty great. We get to track the job application process of our students. Our mentors and our instructors can make sure that we're actually fulfilling our goals that we set out from the very start to get these students that we've trained jobs that are fulfilling for them. After that, we also have to do the work in the background, like create profiles for students that has assessments of how they do, how they've done so far in the program, or what they're strong in. So we've used, again, Super SO to maximize our Notion sites and send this over to our hiring partners, which is pretty great. We've also built a job board on Webflow, which is super exciting. And we've also built portfolios for our students. So we teach our students actually how to build their own portfolios, and we use Type Dream for that. That allowed our students to create their own portfolios in case they want to apply for jobs that are outside our network of partners. And that was pretty great. I'm super proud of the work of the students. It is a 4-month course, and it's amazing to see the work that they could do within those 16 weeks. We will also want to sustain the careers of our students, so we give them resources. We use Webflow to create a resource website for them after they've graduated. And also we're opening this up to the rest of the UX community pretty soon as well. So for our partnerships, our partners can sign up using Typeform, and that goes again to our Airtable, where we manage our partnership agreements and also generally the relationships that we establish with our partners. And lastly, of course, for our events, we use Butter and Zoom to conduct our classes and also conduct sessions after our students have graduated. So whether it's office hours or mentorship sessions, group mentorship sessions, we use these tools. Outside of that, we have a lot of internal tools. We use everything from ConvertKit for email, Airtable for our CRM, Deal for our payroll. Again, for your whole database, it's all on Airtable, and Slack for collaboration. You also get notifications in Slack whether someone applies for UX Plus University, someone sends in a design challenge, a student has anything that they want to send to us. So essentially, at the center of all of it is Slack, Airtable, Webflow, Zapier, and that's pretty much it. So what did no code allow for us? Well, it allowed many things for us. It allowed 500 applications to our program without marketing, without a single cent on marketing. We also got $100,000 in seed funding within 1 month of launch, which was pretty great, through a reality show of all places. We didn't really want to do it, but it was there, and I knew some of the investors, so I tried it, and it was pretty great. Like we got something out of it, and more importantly, we have 31 amazing UX graduates. So essentially, no code allowed many things for us. It allowed us to build a platform. It allowed us to interact with our students better, but it allowed us to get to our outcome, which is trained UX graduates that have amazing jobs. So our UX graduates right now have applied and also gotten into jobs that they've been wanting to get into for the longest time. And that's essentially what makes our job so easy, like all of this so easy for us. And here's what some of our students had to say.
Hi, my name is Marielle Lopez, and I am part of the first batch at UX Plus University. And I just want to say that this bootcamp has been such a wonderful experience for me. I really learned so much and grew so much as a designer. And UX Plus definitely preps you to get into the industry by the end of the 16 weeks. So if you're serious about UX, this is the bootcamp for you. And just want to give a special shout out to everyone at UX Plus, and from the first batch. You guys are awesome, and I'm so happy that we met and everything. All right, bye.
Also, one more.
So when I first applied to UX Plus University, I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was still a fresh graduate from marketing, and I've always wanted to know how applications work, how designers design with intent when it comes to building applications and websites. So we did a little research about UX design, and I've noticed that there are an overwhelming amount of programs to choose from. And one of the barriers I encountered was the price of education that I need to pay for a UX bootcamp. So as a fresh graduate, I wanted to have the cheapest option or alternative, but still I wouldn't compromise the quality of education that I would get. So luckily, I came across UX Plus University. I was so surprised about the comprehensiveness and also the in-depth curriculum that was included for aspiring UX designers like me. And also, one factor that also pushed me to continue with my application is that I can have the opportunity to network with industry leaders that can help me discover my true designer self, and also how I can further improve my design skills as I take the bootcamp. And over time, now that I'm about to graduate in UX Plus University, I'm so proud that I can finally embrace the fact that I can confidently speak to stakeholders, whether they are part of the C-suite or at least part of a different department. And I can successfully defend my design decisions clearly with the help of my instructors and mentors that helped me and supported me during my journey with UX Plus University. So now, I am so thankful that I can finally start my own journey in UX design. And I'm so thankful that without UX Plus University, I wouldn't be where I am today.
So that was awesome. That's essentially what makes it worth it for us. Listening to our students finally find their job that they've been wanting to pursue for the longest time. That's what makes it all worth it. And that's what no code allowed for us. It allowed for us to combine our passions, combine our knowledge, combine everything we know, and it allowed for us to just get things done the most efficient way we can. And I've always hesitated in the past, and you as well might be hesitating right now in terms of pursuing your own idea. But what I'd like to say is just do it. You can essentially get started right now with no code. So thank you everyone for listening. I'm Christian San Jose. You can follow me at CSJ89 on Twitter, and you can join UX Plus University at uxbl.us.